Hey, welcome back. This is episode number 476. An email from 2010 is what this episode's all about.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, welcome back. Glad you're here. It is 2022, and the other day we were getting ready to close shop, and one of the guys I work with pulled up an email from 2010. Now it's 2022 right now, and he brought the sales team around and he was sharing with them this email that he received from 2010. And the interesting part, it was from October 2010. I was relatively new to my position, and I used to do a lot of training on goal setting. As a matter of fact, I was asked to go to different parts of the country to talk to junior high school students about goal setting and the effective steps of goal setting, which I've talked about in this podcast, and to do it through these team building seminars that I used to do for big automotive dealerships. And I ended up incorporating that into bringing it to schools. And the first one I did was actually here in the Midwest, and it was about, gosh, how many people was it? It was about 300 kids. I think it was 300 kids, and we broke them into groups of 10. So what was interesting is that we went over this effective steps of goal setting, and I ended up writing an email to all my managers back then, letting them know that, hey, it's that time of the year. We're in October, November, December. It's coming up. Now would be a good opportunity for you guys to start become experts in goal setting and how to teach your team how to actually effectively set business goals and whatever type of goals you're interested in. And it all came from the book Napoleon's Hill, Think and Grow Rich, which is probably one of my favorite books of all time. And I reread it every single year, and I read it throughout the year. So what was interesting is that he pulled the guys around and he goes, you guys aren't going to believe this. I found an old email. It's one of the only emails I have from one of my old accounts, is what the manager said. And he ended up sharing it with some of the people. And I was honored that he did that. And then I realized something. I've gotten so far away from center that I don't talk about his goals nearly as much as I used to. And the only people that I really truly talk about goals with are the people that actually are in my immediate family, or people that call me from this podcast, or that I get introduced from this podcast about goal setting. And I guess it's now a better time than ever to talk about goals, because people start to get into that resolution mode, and resolution, whatever you want to call it, for or against it, I don't care. You can redo your goals anytime. I do mine about every 90 days. And the first part is you got to have the desire to want or have something or be something. And the best way that I know to do that is by finding your purpose. And listen, if you're in 2022 and you're worried about repeating the same things over and over again, I want to share with you something that you don't have to repeat the same bullshit that you went through year after year after year and just like, oh, it's just another 2022. The older you get, it just seems life goes by so much faster. I know we can all agree on that. It's been said that life insurance salesmen, this is something that they talk about when you interview a 17-year-old and you tell them about, hey, when you're 85 years old, it seems so far away. You talk to an 85-year-old and you ask them to talk about their prom and stuff like that, and that seems like it was just yesterday. So think about that for a moment. If you know the best time to start was 90 days ago, think about where you'd be at if you really focus diligently on your goals, a matter of minutes and moments throughout the day. And that's what the No Comfort Zone is all about, focusing on things that are going to impact your life in a positive way down the road by being a little uncomfortable and doing those things now and seeing what's going to happen after 30, 60, 90 days. You'll be unrecognizable. Your life will be completely different. And I can't share with you that enough, that in 2022, now is a great time. That's the next best time to start now. And the best thing that you can do is you have to have that desire of where you want to change in your life. And if you don't know, you just have to look at where you're currently at. With where you're currently at, you can look at your health, you can look at your wealth, you can look at your relationships, you can look at where you're currently living, your zip code, you can look at all that stuff. And the ideal, is that ideally where you want to be at? If you knew you couldn't fail, and if you had a plan, and if somebody was going to support you, Where would you be at 90 days from now? That's what I do. I help you get from point A to point B. So it's interesting. If you have the desire to change and you're wanting to, what I do with this blueprint that I created to get me out of hell, basically out of mediocrity and just being average and just being stuck and lack of passion, even after the coma, after all the health issues, after all the bankruptcy, after all the IRS, after the wrong people in my life, after all of that stuff, I got to a place where I'm like, I guess this is how it's going to be. And then I realized for a minute, no way, man. This is not where it's going to be at. A reality check from a doctor changed everything for me. Health, I got to get in better shape. And now it's something that I focus a lot on. And it is important to me. What I want to share with you is that if you can just change one thing in your life, what would that one thing be? That would be the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You look at 5 or 6 different things in your life, and where do you want to change it? Start with any one of those. You take my blueprint, the No Comfort Zone blueprint. You get your mindset right, and you start going in the direction to fix one thing. And when you fix one thing, you begin to fix everything. It's not hard at all, but it's not simple either. Or wait, it's simple, but it's not easy. That's what I should say. It's extremely simple to do, but it's not easy. And it takes a very specific attention to detail in a matter of specific times throughout the day for you to start enjoying the things in life that you know you should be enjoying. I mean, really, when you think about this, the desire, write out your dream day. Begin with when you want to wake up and how you want to wake up. What's the first thing you would do? What's the second thing you would do? What's the third thing you do? If you knew you couldn't fail and you wanted to have the best day ever, how would you go about doing it? What would you do? Then go to the next step in the day and the next step and the next step and design your dream day on what that would look like, what you would eat, who you'd be with, how you would do things, how your day would end, who would you meet throughout your day. What problems would you solve? How would you feel throughout the day? Design a life that's worth living by having intention put into a space, have the desire. And these 7 effective steps to goal setting, these 7 effective steps to goal setting that my friend pointed out that I wrote out in 2010, I take it for granted. I do it every day. I mean, I really think about these things. See the vision in your mind's eye. Write it down as an I will statement or an I have statement, or it's currently happening right now. We have a beginning date, have an end date. List all the obstacles, list all the benefits, and be willing to work your ass off. And that's pretty much the 7 steps. Now, I go in detail when I talk to, the junior high school students and stuff like that, or high school, or, whatever, any corporation. It's what are the goals? What's the standards you're willing to have in place? As we talked about in the other podcast, what standards do you have in place? And then from that, what's your intention and what are you willing to do? And watch what happens with the outcome. Again, most people lack structure, discipline. I know I did. And when I put structure in my life, when I put discipline in my life, it's amazing that the reward that I got, it's the same thing that happened through Marine boot camp. It's the same thing that happened through rehab twice. And it's the same thing that I do when I talk to people from this podcast. When they go to the nocomfortzone.com, they start living in accomplishment. And that's what it's all about. What's the accomplishment you're going to have today? What's the desire you want to have today? Because if you're willing to put it all on the line and you're willing to work for it every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions, and you're willing to work on it minute by moment, and you're focusing on the end result while living in the present, man, I'm telling you, you are going to be doing great. You're cooking with gas. Goal setting is so overlooked. It's so talked about, but goal setting, like if Tony Robbins, when you turn your shoulds into must, that's a different ballgame. Even me coming downstairs to this new studio that I have here in my basement, this is where it all started for me, in the basement. I have one half that's actually an exercise area. I have another area that's where I actually come and do this for you. And this is the space that I've created so I can specifically connect with you and broadcast this to let you know that, hey, I'm out here. I'm willing to help you go from point A to point B. And from where I was at my point A, I just wanted to get out of there so bad. I was willing to do just about anything. And then I realized if I'm just going to focus on me, nothing else, then I'm going to start going in the right direction. Just me. What are the challenges and what are the standards that I have in place? And what I wanted to do is, hey, you know what? I want to work out 30 minutes straight without, having to rest. I couldn't even do these things called 3 moves in 3 minutes, 3 calisthenic exercises in 3 minutes. I couldn't even do that. Now I've got no problem. I can do that for a half an hour, but I had to work at it. And I'm telling you again, the best time to start, if you haven't started 90 days ago, the best time is to start now. Think about where you'll be at if you just focused for 15 minutes on what's important to you today, what's important when, what's important now that you need to accomplish right now. Do that once a day. That's a big thing that we talk about. There's 15-minute blocks throughout the day. How do you maximize those 15 minutes? let's say you take all the 15-minute blocks that you have throughout a day in a 10-hour time period, and let's say that you're 80% successful, which would be amazing. Cut that in half, cut that in half. If you just did that, you would be ultra successful. If taking those intentions that you have, those desires that you have, putting together a plan, believing in yourself, and then having faith that the end result is going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know that. But you know what you want right now, and you know what you're willing to work for. And when you connect with me at thenocomfortzone.com, what ends up happening is we have a conversation about where you're currently at. And that's the hardest part for some people, is to really identify where they're at, because I'll call you out. This is one of those things where you don't get on the calendar if you're afraid to be called out. If you want to be stroked and you want your ego, this is not the place to do that. I'm a nice guy in this podcast, and there's some people that have actually abruptly passed them out. And that's okay. I have all the care in the world. All my heart is there for you, and I'll help you. If you understand where I come from, that adversity is going to happen for a good reason. So please don't get upset that your life is where it's at right now. Realize that it's a gift where your life's at right now, and you have the ability to change that. One of the great ways to do that is get up early and write out your goals. Before you go to bed, write out your goals. Announce them to the world. Have that beginning date. Now's a good day. Have an end date, 90 days from now, 60 days, 30 days from now. Be willing to work your ass off. What are the obstacles you're going to have? Work, family are going to get in the way of your goals? Sure, but that's an asset. What else is going to get in the way of your goals? Your mindset? We can fix that too. This blueprint's amazing. It covers everything. These 5 key elements of the blueprint will take you from point A to point B faster than you could possibly imagine. I'm pretty excited about it, but more importantly, write out your goals. 7 effective steps to goal setting. Step number 1, have the vision in your mind's eye. What do you really want? Write it down as an I will statement. You got to have a beginning date and you got to have an end date. Do yourself a favor. List all the obstacles and list all of the benefits. Really take time to clarify and bring this goal down to the basic, to the raw, melt it all the way down to the raw core of what's important to you. And once you have that, once you know what that is, and if you want to go over that with me, thenocomfortzone.com, hit me up, get on my calendar, I'll call you, we'll go over your goals. And I will help you get from point A, where you're currently at, with that raw material that you have, and where you want to go. We'll put a timeline, we'll put your plan together. And that's, once you sign up for the No Comfort Zone, that's where step number 7, you have to be willing to apply massive action. And that's step number 2 of the blueprint, or the element of number 2 of the blueprint. Anyway, I'm actually out of breath right now because I spent my time working out and I never caught my breath when I started this podcast. But I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do today. I'm desperately trying to get this thing published and off the ground. So the No Comfort Zone, Get Out of Your Comfort Zone and Live on Purpose, my book. Very excited about that. I just got to do it the right way. And when I launch it, I do want it to become a national bestseller. So wish me luck on that. And while you're at it, if you listen to the show, do me a favor. Please write me a rating or review. If you know me, if you don't know me, if you've been in an email or not, if you just listen to this podcast in your car to and from, do me a favor. Go to Apple iTunes, give me a 5-star rating, please, if you think I deserve it. And also, I would greatly appreciate it for you to write a review, because it helps other cool people just like you find this. You never know where somebody's at in their life. And if you like the podcast and you're willing to share it and put it on social media and put a review out there and let the world know that, hey, this is not a bad podcast. This guy actually knows what he's talking about. He's real, he's relevant, he's raw. I would greatly appreciate it, because I can help a lot of people. So it's January. I'm looking for 3 people again. 3 people is that's the only amount of calls that I'll take within a given month. So 3 people that are interested in pursuing their point A to point B. Where are you at? Where you want to go? I want to help you get there. Hit me up. All right. thenocomfortzone.com. Until we meet again, until you have your realities that you're looking for in your life, here's what I want you to do. I want you to really focus on something. Is today and every day, I want you to focus on getting out of your comfort zone and living on purpose. We'll see you on the next episode.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.